So far, we've talked a little about who you really are. Now let's explore more about where you are and what you're facing. In other videos, we'll be exploring some of the different patterns in the world around us that set people up for this kind of problem. From sleep deficiency and high levels of stress to family and health problems. It's no surprise that many people end up looking for some way to mentally check out or numb the pain. And depending on how we respond to this stuff around us, it can literally start to change us on the inside. So let's talk about the brain. It seems like every day scientists are discovering another way that the brain influences our daily lives, shaping our choices and ultimately who we become. So it's pretty important that we protect the brain. Now, there are a lot of things that we could do to damage the brain, of course. I mean, we've all probably lost a few brain cells, whether from a bad fall, a helmet-to-helmet hit in football, wrecking hard on a mountain bike, or getting a roundhouse kick in the face by Chuck Norris. Okay, maybe not that last one, because you'd be dead. But we're not here to talk about that kind of harm to the brain. We'll be exploring here another kind of hurt to the brain, the kind that comes over time, similar to the kind of damage caused by things like nicotine or drugs. Let's dig in and talk about this a little bit more, starting by rewinding back to an earlier time in your life. Think back, before this was even a problem. Did you feel your day was ruined if you couldn't watch porn? Did you feel nervous or uncomfortable or unable to concentrate because you couldn't check out that video? Of course not. Your life went on just fine as a non-porn viewer. You were able to get on with your life without giving the slightest thought to porn. But then the problem started. And like a first-time smoker or drinker, your body got a shock. The reason for this is that pornography is a powerful example of what scientists call a supernormal or superstimulus. Something designed to be so artificially intense that it can quickly overpower and hijack the attention of most human beings. By mimicking real sexual intimacy, pornography, when we let it in, tricks the brain into releasing powerful neurochemicals like dopamine into the reward pathway of the brain, which is what provides that momentary rush. You see, in the beginning, this intense dopamine punch leaves many people feeling a little overexcited, shocked, or even sick at first exposure to porn. Some also report some kind of internal resistance, like, I'm not sure about this. But over time, as people continue to use, and yes, notice the drug terminology here, the body gets so used to that dopamine spike that it starts to demand more and more. It's like that guy who ate McDonald's every meal for 30 straight days in that documentary, Super Size Me. At first, as you can imagine, he got really sick. But after a while, his body got used to all that grease and the fat, to the point where he actually started to crave it. So if your body can start demanding fast food, it's no surprise that this can happen with pornography, right? Thus, users go from not needing porn to trying it, to wanting it, to eventually feeling like they need it. And remember, the brain by this point has become so used to all that dopamine that it requires large amounts just to feel a rush anymore. And that is how addiction gets started. It hijacks your brain's natural appetites and slowly starts to take over your life, robbing you of your freedom to make your own choices. Not cool. This is more than just a physiological shift, by the way. As we go back to something like pornography over and over, our desires, interests, and motivations also start to change. To the point that a new appetite begins to emerge, introducing cravings and urges until we think we really want what we used to be repulsed and shocked by. Notice something important here. We don't start off loving porn. We start off trying it. At some point, however, this new appetite can become almost impossible to distinguish from our own deeper desires, leading some to decide, hey, this is just what I want, or this is just who I am. No wonder it's not so easy to step away from this stuff. We've been trained in another direction, both in our desires and in the brain itself, to chase after this super stimulus anytime we don't like how we're feeling, anytime we want to escape. Regardless, the good news is that this process can be reversed. A good starting place is understanding the basic scientific reasons why we're feeling stuck in the first place. And now you know. So the question becomes, what are we going to do now?